Guns, I has it. Hello everyone, Paul Crummer here. Recently I bought this .38 special revolver. It's a Smith & Wesson Military and Police. This one was made in 1950. For quite some time I've been looking to get the K38 Masterpiece, which is Smith & Wesson's Target Masterpiece. Same K-frame, .38 special, adjustable rear sight with target, trigger, and hammer, and a ramp front sight. I don't buy things online, and I've never seen one really at the few gun shows that I go to, but I've seen a lot of these, and I've mostly passed them up because they have a fixed sight, and all of my revolvers, I have quite a few, none of them have fixed sights. They all have adjustable sights because I shoot in competition, and I never really considered getting a fixed sight revolver, and I would see these from time to time and really pass them up, not really knowing too much about them. But when I came across this one, I looked at it in a little bit more detail and looked into the history of it. And the Smith & Wesson Military and Police stems from the hand ejector model of 1899. And what that means is that you swing out the cylinder and use the ejector rod to eject the spent cases, as opposed to previous models that had a top brake action where the barrel and the cylinder would swing up and you would eject the spent cases, similar to a double barrel shotgun. So the Military and Police revolver is actually one of the most popular revolvers of the 20th century. Over 6 million were made. And their characteristics are that it's a K-frame revolver with double action, 6 shots, .38 special, and fixed sights. There were a number of variations in the early 1900s, and production continued on through World War II. There was a Victory model that was made that was Parkerized and had plain grips. And after World War II, production of the Military and Police continued up until 1957, when Smith & Wesson introduced model numbers, and this became the Model 10. That basically caused all of the military and police revolvers between about 1947 and 1957 to be known as the pre-Model 10 revolvers. So the characteristics of this particular one is that it's, well, the serial number is on the bottom of the butt here. It's a C prefix. First 3 digits are 138 of a 6-digit serial number. And that puts it at about 1950. The serial number is also inside the grips, and it's also on the back of the cylinder. It is right there, right there. There's an assembly number on the frame and on the yoke. It has nothing to do with serial number. They basically need to match to show that parts haven't been swapped. The other nice thing about this is that you have this tapered barrel. It's pinned, this half-moon sight. I really like the ramp sight a little bit better, but this is really fairly nice. This one is a 5-screw model, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. 4th one's under the grip. Then there's a 5th screw here in front of the trigger guard, and there's a strain screw here. After a while, Smith & Wesson eliminated this top screw and the trigger screw and the strain screw, and that is pretty much what you have today. You can buy a Model 10 today, and it looks pretty much like this. It will have a shroud to protect the ejector rod. It'll have a different front sight, but for the most part, you'll have the same fixed rear sight and similar grips. The older ones have these diamond grips, and they're pretty nice. So I'm still looking for a Model 14 or an older Target Masterpiece. The Combat Masterpiece, which became the Model 15, is similar. It has the adjustable rear sight, but typically they have a 5-inch barrel. These military and police revolvers, they had barrels as short as 2 inches, and typically they're 4 to 6 inches. This is a 6-inch. There's a very rare 6.5-inch, and there is so much history and lore about these popular revolvers. And the workmanship is just outstanding. It locks up really tight, and the ratchet cogs are so well defined and help to really make the timing very precise. This type of quality certainly makes this worth getting. You see so many of them in gun shows, and I think a lot of people ignore them, but they're really excellent revolvers. I had some concerns about getting a fixed sight revolver because I'm used to adjusting the rear sight to accommodate either my flinch, or if for some reason it needs to be adjusted for different distances. Of course, the rear sight makes that all the more easy. There are ways to compensate when you have a fixed sight by adjusting the load. I think these were pretty much designed for a 158 grain lead load, and you can use lighter or heavier bullets when you're reloading to adjust the point of impact. But I'm eager to see how this does at the range, and so in part 2 of the video, I'll be taking it out to the range and have some fun with it and see how it does. We're at the range, and I've set some targets up at 25 yards, and I've also set a spotting scope up so that we can see the shots on the targets. I'm a silhouette shooter, so normally I shoot standing, open sights, 5 shots. I'll actually be sitting, but I won't be using a rest. Of the targets that I shot, I have selected 2 for this video as being representative. My point of aim is at the 6 o'clock position. I always shoot single action, never double action. The green circle in the center is 1 inch in diameter. The green outer circle is 3 inches in diameter. This is Remington 158 grain lead round nose. This is Purvey Partisan 158 grain lead round nose. I'm adjusting my hold, and that's causing some windage drift in my shots. That got a little bit away from me. I was holding it too loose and the shot went way high. Still adjusting my hold, but I don't have it quite right. These two targets were representative of the targets that I shot today. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm pretty happy with this revolver. It can be very precise in its grouping. I just need to learn how to hold it correctly. Thank you for watching.